We are just getting started. We got a lot of really fun topics today, but it's going to be a short show. We're not going to do tarot today, so that we make sure we get through all of our pieces, and also got to get somewhere. So right after we're done, we have to roll out and do a few things. So there will be that, but still, we're going to talk today about some article stuff, some new things I've learned, and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm excited. You are listening to Herknunger. Haven't listened to Mr. Nunger in a long time, in a while actually. So yeah. Very, very exciting. We do want to talk a little bit about becoming and being, and the 0123, which is about tarot, but we're not actually going to do tarot, unfortunately. But regardless, I think we'll still have fun, because that's what we do. Happy early birthday, Kelvin. That is awesome. Just kind of doing a couple more setup things. We'll probably get our video going here in just a second. But yeah. Let me know what you think about the music. Again, it's Herknunger on YouTube, Herknungr. We have been listening to him since the beginning. I think the last couple times it's been White Bat, but we'll switch it over. Let me know if there's any vocal frying or anything on the mic. We made some changes and just making sure it all works. I know we talk about, like, you don't have to drop it, honey. You can have your bone. You got 2 bones. Look at that. Yeah. I know we've talked quite a bit in different areas, too. Oh, good morning, Aaron. Welcome in. Welcome in, Dragon. I know Little Tree Sap looks like she popped in when we first scheduled this morning, but this isn't our normal week to do it. We do first and third Sundays, but we missed last week because I had to fly out on Sunday, and then early Sunday. I think my flight left at like 6:30 last week, and this week I don't fly out until tomorrow morning, so that's kind of nice. But since we missed, we're going to try to get back on schedule. So this would be our normal off week. We're going to go and do this week. We're going to do next week, get caught up, and then we'll continue always with the first and third, but hopefully and likely throw in a second and fourth as well. But anyway, we talk a lot about gatekeeping, and I want to shift the conversation a little bit, so still kind of hitting a little bit on that, but not very long, just a little piece of it, because, you know, we're often talking about why gatekeeping is such a bad thing, but I want to talk a little bit more about the opposite side of it, of where and how to utilize information and in a way that's helpful. I want to talk about becoming and being, because those are things that have come up a lot lately as I've been reading through a couple of new books. Goodreads has reset. So excited. Little Tree Step, I don't think we said happy birthday, but happy birthday late to you if we didn't. Actually, we might have on the show. I don't remember. My brain is fried. I've been working some crazy hours lately. It's been nuts. But yeah, so we wanted to talk about that on the other side a little bit, how we can move from that, and really, I'm shifting my idea of gatekeeping to maybe gate minding, right? To maybe hopefully shift some perspectives of it's easy to label things gatekeeping and get mad at people who are doing what we think is gatekeeping, but there's another side to it too, right? They themselves have probably invested a lot of energy and time into certain things. So I want to talk about that. I want to talk about being and becoming. Recently read the Rune Armal and getting quite a bit into the mysteries of the Temple of Set, both which are connected. Been getting ready to start some of Dolores Cannon's books, which I've been following her for a long time, even though she's passed. Her stuff is amazing. Supernatural, paranormal, third dimensions, fifth dimensions, multi-dimensions, multiverse, all of it. She just, grandma on a recliner, and I'm telling you, it's very interesting and very neat stuff. So starting that and kind of want to talk a little bit about that. And then through a conversation this morning, reminded me of some of the tarot teachings when I did a tarot class, which is my understandings of and feelings about the 0, 1, 2, and 3. The full 1, 2, and 3 and the major arcana, and then of course the aces, and then 1, 2, 3s and the minor arcana. So those are important things. All things I want to go to. But we will not likely do tarot just because. The 17th, what is the, what day is today? So in 3 days, Aaron, happy birthday. And I am so sorry. I will be back in Maryland again next week. We were working so freaking late. It is insane. It was just late this week. So in Maryland, and I mean, I got in Sunday. We were going until like 10, 11 o'clock most nights. It just got really, really nuts. So I wasn't able to really get out. I have no issues or concerns myself with driving a distance if I need to. That's, I'm used to that. So hopefully I can re-engage something. But if not, I'm always back. Like, I come to Maryland a lot. I have a lot of buildings in Maryland, Delaware, Pennsylvania, that whole area, South Jersey, Mid Jersey. So yeah, I'm all over the place. But yeah, happy early birthday. I'll be 43 this year. I'm going to do what my grandmother did and start counting backwards at 50, right? So for me, that was my magic number at 50, because the goal would be to die at age 0, right? So she made it to 6. She was 6 when she died at 94, or maybe 8. I can't remember now. But yeah, you start going back at 50, and that is how you make it work. Prosecco. What?
My coworker just reached out and asked about Wicked, and she's very interested in learning.
Send her the link. Tina? Oh, Gina. Ask her if she has YouTube. Send her the link, man. Connect. Tell her to hop on. Anyway, I'm trying to do my charcoal real quick, guys, and it is not wanting to light. I'm actually burning it instead. I don't know why. It's being stupid. Probably because it's been sitting out and it is, oh my god, humid. I think I got it though. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, so fun stuff. 50. If you, so Kelvin, you're already 48, or you'll be 48 this year. So that's awesome. Counting back at 50, and at 100, you're 0. Oh God, yeah. Little tree sap, thank you. I know, it's been nuts. I have had such an amazing beginning to this year, and am letting go of so many freaking things so quickly. And being able to adjust and alternate and pivot. I feel like my spiritual learning has just gone through the roof, which is a good feeling, and having more conversations and things about it. Even things like we're drinking way less, like, alcohol once a month, if that. just things in general. And I bought a new motorcycle yesterday, so I'm super hyper excited about that, and I want to go out and ride it so bad right now, but I can't. But yeah, I'm still stalling, waiting for Rook to get in here. I don't know what the hell's taking him so damn long. He's slow.
How do I send the link to her from my phone?
You go into... Oh, just give her HTTPS semicolon / like you're on a website, right? I'll show you on here. Sorry, I have to show Rook. And then or just tell her to go to YouTube and search for Two Pondering Pagans, all one word.
It's all one word?
Yeah, it's youtube.com/Two Pondering Pagans to directly, but you can just search it. So we're trying to network here, y'all. He's slow. Maeve, 100% agree with that, my man. That is so true. Yeah. Yeah, I gotta break this motorcycle in. I'm ready to go. It is so pretty. I'm obsessed with it. I've been obsessed with it. I finally got it, and now I'm kind of like, it's a big bike. A little bit nervous. You ready?
Can you see these candles on the screen? I feel like lighting them, but
you can light them, but you don't see all of them, just a couple of them. You can light all these other things though, but I'm gonna turn on the video if that's okay.
hold on. Yeah, where's the lighter? What you want me to light? My light?
Anything? You can light this. Ooh.
Yeah.
I was like, I felt heat, but it was... Ouch. It doesn't want to move. I can't get...
Damn it. That fucker.
There it goes. There it goes.
Oh,
No. Can I read
nice.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did she find... Does that mean she found it?
I don't know.
Oh, well. We'll see. Because she doesn't have to... Nobody has to ever announce themselves or say who they are because...
No.
Oh, shit.
I'm going to tell her no.
You can if you want to, but you don't have to. This is a safe place. Blah, blah, blah. All right. Sorry. I don't know what he's doing. He's not paying attention. But as you can tell, I'm like super hyper today. So Kelvin, I do not have a Harley. My first, or my, so I have 3 bikes ish, and Rook has 2. I have the Rebel 500, which is like the little cruiser style, like a mini hog. Not a real hog though. Meaning Harley. I don't have a Harley. It's the Honda. And then yesterday I bought the Yamaha MT-10, which is their top of the line hyper naked bike, which I am so excited about. I just want to go out and just go nuts with it because I've been wanting it for a while. I've been doing a lot of research, and it's nice to finally have figured it out.
Let's see, what can I like? I want it to be...
So yeah, there's that.
Oh, I missed the other penguins. I need to get this going a little bit better.
Yeah, well, you waited until way too late, sir.
True.
Sir.
Can you see me doing that?
Not yet. I waited for you.
Go ahead.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Do you like your Prosecco?
I haven't tried it yet. All right, so we'll go live. You see his head there. He's like not paying attention. So as soon as we get these lit, we'll come down and
Don't laugh at my pants. They're Lululemon.
get started. This guy named Lulu designed them.
Yeah, and last name Lemon.
Last name Limo.
Yes.
So I also want to talk about something interesting too.
Cheers. Happy Sunday.
Happy New Year too,
Welcome
because
to
our
the
last stream
circle.
was 12/31.
Well, Happy New Year. That's right. Oh, this is kind of good.
That's very good.
Yeah. Does it feel
So-
dark? Can you see us? It feels like a little dark.
It is dark because it's dark outside. It's not sunny like it usually is in Florida. So a couple things I want to start with first too is just a reminder, and I'm going to talk about my friend here a minute, and I love her
Who's
to
your
death,
friend?
Allison. She does not have what do you call it? She does not use social media at all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I don't know if she'll ever show in here. I did tell her about it. But I want to talk about that because I think we've talked a lot about this in the past. And I think it's important for me to say it, that I am reading a lot about Satanism. And I do consider myself left-hand path. Definitely
Left-hand
eclectic pagan. Definitely a witch. That's another topic we're going to talk about in a minute. But I support all of those things. I don't consider myself a Satanist. It's just it's not a belief system for me, which is perfectly fine. But we've been posting a lot on Facebook about that. And I got a call from somebody Sunday afternoon while I was waiting for my baggage. And it's my friend Allison.
Oh, yeah.
And it was weird because the first thing was, I just wanted to check on you because somebody saw that you're like posting out of Satan and stuff. You're not into that, are you? And so I felt, I heard that judgment, but knowing Allison so well, we're the type of friends that we may not see each other for 2 years, but if she called me tomorrow and said, hey, I need you, I'd be like, okay, where do I come? It's that kind of thing. So we talked a little bit about it, and she's like, I'm really interested in hearing about it because I want to know what you do and kind of how you are and things are. And I explained to her, like, look, Satanism isn't what people think it is. It's not. I'm not that. Not that it matters, but that's just not really what it is. And if it was, I still don't care. And there was the comment of, like, so you're not sacrificing babies and stuff. And it just is a reminder that even people close to us don't always necessarily understand.
Yeah.
But what left me so happy, I don't know why I'm yelling.
And why'd you stop?
I don't know, because I was yelling.
Oh, I want to hear it.
What made me so happy was that at the end of the conversation is, okay, well, I mean, okay, tell me about it. Like, I want to know more about it, not because I want to believe in it, but just because I want to understand what you think. And it was just a really, really awesome conversation that reminded me that we don't need anybody to believe what we believe, and we don't need to prove to anybody what we believe. We don't need to ask you to accept what we believe.
And we don't have to accept or criticize what others believe either.
But what we need from our friends and the people that we care about is the willingness to want to just understand. Because when you understand it, you're like, nobody in my thinking process would think poorly upon Satanism or any of those things if they knew what it really kind of was. And that's why I want to talk about gatekeeping in a minute.
Can I say hi to people? I'm late. I'm sorry. It's my fault.
It sure is.
Hi, Maeve. Hey, Aaron. Hey, Kelvin. Little Tree Sap. Dragon. Kelvin. Hope you guys all had a great week.
Yes.
Awesome week.
A little Tree Sap was the first person in here when I scheduled it this morning at 9.
Whoop, whoop.
So, but yeah, so that was kind of the thing. It was like, I think most of you know that on the work side of things for me, I had a staff member that basically was talking about me to other people, not thinking it would get back to me because, we're thousands of miles apart with my team. They're all over the States. I didn't realize it would get back to me, and it did. They were talking, I was like, oh, do you know he believes in this? He's a witch. He thinks he's a witch. He's psycho. Do you want that non-Christian stuff in your organization and blah, all this stuff, right?
Ooh, that's not cool.
No. And that was the point that I recognized just how infuriating people can be, because they have no idea what it even was and what how any of that stuff works or whatever. I'm like, it was just really nice to have your friend not judge you for it and just ask the questions.
I feel like it's really dark. Is it too dark? I feel like
it is dark. We've already addressed this.
Okay.
It's dark outside.
It is.
All the glass is open.
All right.
You can turn the light on, but it won't change anything on the camera.
Okay.
Can we lay that to rest?
Light this incense. What you got going here? Yeah, we could lay it to rest.
Good.
So what you been reading?
Stuff.
Like what?
I finished the Rue Normale.
And what does that tell us? I mean,
what does that mean is?
What does that mean is? What's that about?
So the Rue Normale is by Stephen E. Flowers. Judgments against Stephen E. Flowers, as much as I may agree, don't change that this was a pretty decent book out of the few that I've read by him that I usually don't like. And that doesn't mean I like him as a person. Just like because I read a book on Satanism doesn't make me a Satanist. Right? Makes me interested. It makes me wanting to know more. But it is about, it's almost linguistic. We'll show it on the little screen here in a minute.
Normal. Yeah.
But it's the Runa Talks. It's an updated version, and it's basically some of these talks that have been written down that Stephen Flowers did about runes. This was in Austin, Texas, at the now infamous Manor House, which I've never heard of, which is funny because this was back in the early 90s. And he gave them at 11 a.m. every Saturday morning, just kind of did, and that's when people came. And he goes through each of the talks and talks about basically linguistical concepts of rune. I think there's absolutely nothing happening, but apparently Ma Petite is interested in the runes.
She is.
We said rune and she spoke. Yeah, Dragon Dancer, that really is the point. And like, even the one we just read by Lucifer Legavorden, I don't think he's a good person. I don't know him, so I really can't make that full judgment. I don't like what he writes and a lot of the stuff, but I learned a lot from it, so it was important. But this is, it's kind of the same thing. I do recommend it, actually. And Dragon Dancer, I think you'll especially like this little tree sap. This might be one that you would really be interested in too. Not necessarily just because of the runes, but because it talks about how the word rune or runa embodies the full concept of everything, not just a word. It's. God.
Give her here. I was trying to pick her up. Where Ma Petite?
She's some.
Ma Petite.
So yeah, the other thing. I'm hyper.
Well, I'm laughing as my ADHD energy.
I'm gonna go back to this the Runer Mall, but I am hyper. Yes, lots of things going on, but the reason is I finally went to the doctor and didn't lie to the doctor and admitted to the diagnosis that I knew I had for the last 5 to 6 years, and I'm now on medication and I felt better than I've ever felt. Lost 5 pounds. Blah blah blah. So that's why I'm all over the place. I'm super hyper. But you know, this book goes into that linguistics part of it, right? So it's not just what are the runes and what do the runes mean. It is, why do the runes represent some of the things they represent? One good example is Gebo, which is one of the runes, and it means often when you look at the gift, right? And there's a lot of descriptions about the gift. I'm not the expert, by the way. I've read one book. I have worked through the runes. I've read a lot about runes, but I am still an absolute novice when it comes to a lot to learn. I can actually spell words with runes, and I know their base meanings, but this changed my thoughts on them. When you say runes, you're not just talking about the runes, you're talking about all of the world knowledge, right? So rune isn't just, here's the runes, that means something. It's, here's a word that represents the entirety of all knowledge of all things that were created upon sacrifice. And that all of these things are effective and worth something only within their relationship to other things, right? So the gift isn't about gifts. It is about the way that two human beings give and take of themselves, their exchange, because that wouldn't exist without that interaction. And I know a lot of you probably know that or have heard that because you've done it probably a lot more than I have. But that was a big revelation for me with the runes. Now they're not just the runes. Just like when I first learned tarot, they were cards that help. Now tarot is its own thing. The runes now, to me, have got a new meaning. They feel completely different. When if I were to pull a rune and get Gebo, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but if I were to pull that, I'm not going to now think of, hey, look, it's about the gift. You can expect things that are going to be expired that are good or that's positive. It is now this whole concept of the relationship interaction between people and the world and the entirety of everything. It's the whole concept of that exchange. Yes, and that I'm not sure what Spirus is, but okay. But not even just that too, at least from the Runer Mall, he talks, in addition, it's everything. When you think about giving time to spend time with Odin, that's part of Gebo, right? That's the gift. It is, I'm giving to Odin, the spirit of Odin, and then I will have some exchange somewhere based upon that. So the more you give, the more you get. Kind of sounds like tit for tat, but it's an exchange. and it's just a much bigger and much more beautiful thing than it is. Wunjo, joy, isn't just joyful or me being happy. It's an interaction with, I say humans because that's how he talks about it in here, but it's that interaction with another thing or another entity that gives back that joy of existence. And it doesn't occur on its own. It occurs in relationship with nature, people, spirit, other things. And so that's just given a whole new meaning. Great book. Highly recommend it. It's a pretty quick read.
Is the font real? Yeah, it's real small.
It's
like
a very
all those-
compact font, so it's like a 60-page book that reads like 150. But I took tons and tons of notes on this. It was so nice. And yeah, Little Tree Step, exactly. It's community and interrelationship based, but it goes so much more into that whole concept of community too, but just how words mean more than we're even willing to say they're defined as. So it changes that whole perspective. And yet Jera, I know what it looks like, but I don't remember what it means.
Oh,
So-
thanks, Calvin.
That's another really good one. Well, they're all, I don't know why there's not really a good one. Don't know why I said that. It's not that they're good ones, but there are ones that have good meaning for us and that feel good. Nautis is one that comes up a lot for me, and Issa. And, I always thought Issa, just on the surface, which is is the coldness, the barrenness, the winterness of things. But really, it's the space between, just like, and I can't remember the name of it. The very beginning, there was the is it Mufelheim and Speltel? I can't remember. Spelheim, the hot and the cold.
Mm-hmm.
It's the space in between them that allowed creation to occur, because without that Issa, that cold barrenness in between, the two pieces would never have been able to come together. Because yes, thank you, Ganunga Gap. Don't.
What did you call me?
Ganunga Gap? Yes, thank you. But that's kind of the idea. But anyway, great
Okay.
book. I can talk about it all day.
Are
What
you done
reading?
or still reading it?
I'm done.
You're done?
I can't wait. This is one of those ones that I can't wait to go back and read my notes on again, because there's just so much in it.
All right.
Don't let the person who wrote it, which I think is the same person as Stephen E. Flowers, it's spelled out, because there probably could be more than one Stephen Flowers. I'm pretty sure it's the same guy. It is 30 years old, right? So things have changed, but it's very neat. Very good. Very exciting. Woohoo!
So I have not read anything but for pleasure this last week, because I had a
Yep.
change in job, and that's kind of taken my my time to adjust and get settled in there. But I finished about a week ago, also a very short book, The Satanic Narratives. Oh, do you want to put this up and I'll show them your book? A Modern Satanic Bible by Damien Ball.
Give me 1 second. I'm gonna put the book up there. You might have to. It can cover the B. Yep.
Because this is Mystic's book that he was talking about. I mean, this was all right. I mean, it was much better for me
What it is
than
again?
the Satanic Narratives. The one you got me, A Modern Satanic Bible by
So I'll put
Damien
both of those
Ball.
names in there, but you can switch them out in a minute.
So this was better for me than the Lucifer LeGordon book, The Satanic Testament. It's about, self-accountability, taking responsibility for your actions. I thought it was a good read. I don't know, these people that just say one is wrong or the other, just hard for me to get with. But I actually really liked this book, and
Yeah.
sacrifice, that's funny, because a true Satanist would never sacrifice anything or anyone.
Well, we've talked about that before.
Right.
When you're trying to
Going back to Allison.
What's great about it is she didn't just say "How dare you" like some people would. She's like, "Hey, this is what I heard. Tell me about it." Like, it was so nice. Cover the B. The B is in the camera, so you've got that whole section there.
Cool.
Just the fact that she was able to talk about it, right, and not just say "How dare you, don't do that." And I was very like, no, that's not what it is. That's not what we're talking about here. It's different.
Oh, is this upside down?
Yeah.
I've been putting them wrong then. They can't see
Lord
it.
have mercy, child.
Sorry. So the other
I
ones
put
are
him in the
upside
Discord,
down.
y'all.
So I'm still reading the Kabbalion. by the three initiates. And I'm about ready to start another small book by Master Mayhem, the Book of Baphomet, which you have read and said it's really good, right?
So the Kybalion is great for the underlying, because you can apply it to anything. Like, I mean,
Anything.
Christianity,
Yep.
Catholicism, anything you can apply that to. Everything.
Let me
And
return
then-
the other ones back so they can see it. So let me see yours again.
I put them in Discord so that they're in
Let me
there.
put them so where you all can see them.
But yeah, I highly recommend Kybalion as a book for anybody to read.
Yep.
And what's cool about it is I've had a lot of people ask me, she's like, why the Kybalion? Like, why is that your first book? I think Regs had asked me that at one point, Regs Lightseer, that, you know, why would you recommend that as the first Left Hand Path book? I'm like, well, it's not that it's the Left Hand Path book. It's that it's the great book that you can, it makes sense. Like when you read it, like, well, that actually makes sense
for anything.
And it now I find myself completely re-understanding all of the processes that I thought I knew after rereading it. And then what was the other one that you had? So that Kybalion's great. The satanic narratives, I really like the United Aspects of Satan, and it's something you can get engaged with. What I like is that he's clear about what he explains and why. I don't like that there's judgment of people who do believe in
Deity,
theistic practices, such as myself, but it's just still really great content. That hard copy cover, the Kybalion, is on YouTube. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. Amazon.
It's a really good book. I'll put it back up.
It's got a really good like pace in it too. So it's one of my favorite ones. I have 2 copies of it. One is this one. This is the one I actually read. So highly recommend.
Yeah.
And then I'm still reading this one, which is The Mystery of the Temple of Set. This is Don Webb. Don Webb, I think, is probably one of my favorite occult writers.
Agreed.
I just like his style. It's like you're talking to him. S. Connolly's same kind of writing style. You feel like you're sitting in a room where they're talking. The other thing about Don Webb is he was like, look, here's what we did. Here's what they did. You do whatever the fuck you want to do. But here's what we do. And this works for us. But the Mysteries of the Temple of Set is following a lot of Thomas Aquino, which, you know, comes out of LaVeyan Satanism prior to, when there were certain things that changed, and there was that little rift there. And then, you know, some Crowley in there, quite a few different things. This is a very hard read to me, because there's so much information in such a small area.
Really
I have
small font.
I have to read it, write notes, stop, think, process. Like, this one is taking me forever. But again, one of my favorite writers, I'll be honest. I know I say the Kybalion's like a great starting book, but truly, it's Uncle Setnock's Guide to the Left-Hand Path was the most informative and beneficial book to me on Left-Hand Path that I've read.
VG agreed.
VG's Left-Hand Path too.
VG agreed. Say
So,
hi, VG.
Don Webb, great way to get into stuff and to learn stuff, and it's even the harder concepts are easy to kind of grasp with his content.
Draco says hello.
So yeah. Anyway, let's come back.
Draco.
All right. So, Kelvin, yes. Well, that's exciting. I don't know all of the stuff that he does and believes, but I know he was at the head of the Temple of Set for a while, and I'm finding myself so far
That's really freaking cool.
highly pulled toward this kind of concept. I've got the rest of the books here by Michael Aquino that I'll be reading soon.
Oh.
Yes, Uncle Setnock. I can put it in there too. It is such a good one. I think that was probably my first Left-Hand Path book. And by the time we got to the ritual part, I was like, holy crap, this is everything I was looking for.
Yep.
That's what started me to think that I might be on Left-Hand Path as opposed to just being adjacent. And then, so I'm going to work on the Mystery of Temples of Set. Like I've said before, I keep 3 books going in rotation usually. One personal like fantasy book, which I'm still in The Expanse. I'm on like book 8. Love it still. And then I usually do one like general occult book and then one like specific. So Uncle Setnock, I'll be going down that path. But Dolores Cannon's I done forgot what it's called. Not The Outsiders.
And what is
The
that?
Bystanders? The Conspirators? I don't know. Whatever Dolores Cannon's first book is is what I'm working on next. And if you haven't looked into Dolores Cannon and you want to see paranormal, supernatural, new age, everything you can think of, energy, vibration, all wrapped up into one granny sitting on a recliner, she's your lady. She's amazing. And when you're listening to her, everything is so matter of fact. I literally go right into, there's no way she has not experienced this. Does a lot of past life regression talks, things like that. But it's so nice. It's so really good for that. So, but yeah, LaVey's good. I love LaVey. Michael Ford is a little drier for me to read. Like, I'm not as much, I don't disagree with it or argue with it, but it's just dry.
He's got some good books.
Yeah. They're harder to read for me. Don Webb is just, his were,
I like LaVey.
him and Connolly are just so easy to read. LaVey's easy to read too.
He's good.
It's again like you're sitting in the room with him almost when you're reading it. But all of this kind of goes into the first topic for me, which is being and becoming, because there's a lot of that in the Temple of Set. There's a lot of that in the Runar Mall. And there's a lot of similar concepts in things like the Kabbalion and other areas. And one of those things is, we search for being and we search for becoming, both of which are a means and an end. But you can never reach the end because you are always doing the first two, right? Because reaching the end just means transition to some other version of being or becoming.
And starting something else.
Yeah, and that's basically what I'm gathering from Don, actually, in the Mysteries of the Temple of Set, is this idea, and I get them backwards, so I still need to study, but the idea of our soul is present, and it does have connection to our full consciousness and shape. That's an important piece for me, whether that's fear of death, which I'm not as afraid of as now as I used to be. I'm afraid of the change. I want to still be conscious because I like who I am. But I don't know what that goes next. So that has fear for me. So this kind of conversation of, the soul knows and has a consciousness of you, but you can't be conscious of that in this life because there's something that you have to learn, that if you did have that information, you may not be able to learn it, but yada, yada. But then it's here to become the next thing. And so you're on this constant search for, who am I? What am I? What's this being? What does this mean? But as a whole, what is it? And we have to let go of things around us while at the same time becoming one with the things around us in order to get to that next level, right? You have to be in it and beside it at the same time. That's being and becoming. Becoming is beside something and being is inside of something. And we have to merge those two pieces together. That's what I get out of it. And that comes up in a lot of different areas. So ways to do that seems to be almost all versions of spirituality are coming down to that point somewhere, right? Even atheism is a way of being and being who you are and becoming your best self. That's not a religion, atheism, right? So no matter what you believe, it seems like that's a way to do it. I just thought that was really, 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 really neat. I don't have to stop the music because it's moved off of my original, so it probably just got struck there. But anyway.
Did we get cited?
We probably got cited.
Fined?
Get fined. But yeah, so that's that. Any thoughts on being and becoming without having read? I know you haven't read much on it, but
I think we're all always going through that process, just like the journey of the major arcana. Like when one thing finishes, we go, but while we're doing something, we're in it and doing it. I have not read that, so.
Yeah, and it's so applicable in so many different ways.
I really want to start bringing back our call, like our quarter calls in the beginning. We used to, I don't know why we stopped doing that, but that really
did.
Hit me a couple minutes ago that something feels off without doing it. For me, I'd like to go back to doing it next time we do this.
Yeah, so for those of you that may not have been around since the beginning, we used to call the four corners before we get started. So yeah, we need to do that again because it does kind of help set the tone.
Sets the tone.
But I'm also incredibly hyper compared to normal, which probably is changing the energy as well.
When is the next full moon? I did not look that up earlier.
I didn't either.
2024.
Anybody have any other recommendations about books, videos, any of that kind of stuff related to 25th? And you can go to Luna F and we'll pull it up too. So the 25th, yeah. But
January 25th. It's a full wolf moon.
Full wolf moon, yes. This is going to be exciting.
Something. We got to plan and do something. That's in a couple weeks. A little under a couple weeks.
Hold on to that because I want to go back to Dragon Dancers.
Ooh, thank you, Dragon.
Dragon Reiki, because I did the level 1 with Odin's Eye, and he has reached back out to me, and it reminded me that I need to practice that more. I'm not good where I want to be anyway with it, but yeah. So any ideas though from anybody about the being or becoming, please share them. If you have books or comments or thoughts about it, because it's such a concept of where we're going and what we're doing that applies to so many different ways. Ooh, Leah Bardugo. Yes, absolutely. I've read a bunch of her books. Lee, yeah.
Mom, I gotta go refill our stuff. Can you hold her or you want to put her down more? Are you done? Still working on it. What's that?
I take my mama.
Which one is... Oh, it don't matter anyway.
The one in the front, but it doesn't matter.
We've shared borders.
Yes, so if you guys aren't on Goodreads, you should. I think my name is my real name on there, which I really don't care. But you should be on Goodreads. Whether you friend us or not, that's fine because there's privacy things for a lot of people. But Goodreads is a really neat way to kind of share information. And Leah Bardugo is one. I keep saying Leah. I know Lee is one of my top fiction writers on there. And my favorite books are on there. So it's a really neat way to kind of pass it. And, Kelvin, you said that last time too, but I forgot to look you up. I'm going to have to do that. But I love Goodreads. It keeps me on track. I did not hit my goal last year of 40 books. I hit 37. But you know what? We'll try again this year. This year, my goal is 42. Is Lee Bardugo, is she the Shadow and Bone? I love Goodreads. I'm on it constantly. As soon as I finish a book, I pop that thing right open and update.
Yeah. Hey, ma petite.
Is it empty?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's empty.
Prosecco.
Come here, Bubby. Come here, buddy. Oh, excuse me. What's wrong? What happened?
I pulled a hair.
Sorry, Bubby.
So yeah, that's one of the big things.
I'm sorry, buddy.
But if you guys have books that you recommend on anything, please, there's an books or alchemy section in the Discord to put that in, and also
can you put the link in there for people if they want to join the Discord?
So if you do not have Discord, you should have Discord.
It's free.
It is free,
and you can join. And
you can join us and chat. We are trying to spend more time in there. This week has sucked for me.
It's been a really busy fucking week. Yeah.
I've been traveling on weekends and all kinds of stuff. But if you're not in the Discord, you should. Even though I don't think we have time today, we do and are going to restart the conversations that we've been having afterwards to kind of talk about a lot of this stuff. To continue the conversation, but yeah, so
did I get you, buddy?
Yeah, very fun stuff. I love Goodreads too.
Thank you, bud.
Even just for the fact of keeping me on my reading track, right? It reminds you, 15 minutes of reading is all you need a day if you don't read much. And no matter what YouTube I look at, what video, what Gaia, which by the way, Gaia is a really great resource.
Really cool channel.
I've been watching it a lot more lately. $100 a year, so it's a little subscription to it, but it's amazing. Still, none of it is like reading. Yeah. When I read, I am exactly wherever that person is, and it's just a different thing. So. Anything else on that? Ma, why do you look so distressed?
So we got to plan what we're going to do for the January
Lay down, baby.
25th, full moon.
Yeah, lay down. Relax. It's so cute. She digs her nose into my elbow and it's wet. You little wet nose.
Yes, baby.
Shadow and Bone, that's what I thought. I don't know about the Six of Crows one. There's another one just like her. Very similar writing style. And I cannot freaking remember the name of it, but God, it's so good. I'll have to look it up. It's on my Goodreads.
I feel like I need to go to the beach today.
Ooh, we should.
Even though it's cold, let's ride the... I need to be grounded. I'm very overstimulated.
That's me.
I'm very out of it today, and I feel like I need to go walk in the sand, even though it's chilly.
My energy is at 1,000.
And I'm like, I don't know. I just feel like very...
But
like, ooh, I think it's like the changes I've been going through and stuff.
And probably the weather doesn't match. The energies right now are not matching. There's a lot of things that don't match. But yeah, we should do that. Maybe I'll come down a little bit because I'm not normally this high.
I need to go.
I'm not smoking. I'm not high.
Maybe that's what we need to do.
For me, it's the high is 63 today.
But it doesn't. It feels cold. Like,
well, it was 50 this morning. That's why.
It's freaking cold.
But,
and then Dragon's got all this freaking snow. Oh my god!
I know. One of my employees got stuck over the weekend in freaking Michigan, and then like I told her to take a day off, and she's like, "Well, I'm working from home." I said, "No, you're not. You're off."
Oh my god!
Like, no, you're not doing this.
It's not cold there. The high here today is -3. Oh my god!
I don't know why, but I think that is awesome. I would love to be in -3 weather in a... Hold on. You'll get on board.
Go for it, man.
-3 degrees outside in a small round witch room similar to this one with more glass and a glass roof with a fireplace right in the middle, a full blast, 85 degrees inside, reading a book on a couch with a blanket, having the window cracked.
Yeah, I mean, that part sounds nice.
That part of ground, that difference between the outside and the inside, it just does something to me. Like I can't.
And maybe I felt off because I didn't read this week.
Maybe.
And that's like, reading to me is a form of grounding and meditation. So that could be very well why I felt off. But do you remember, like, was a week or two ago, it fucking just felt nuts.
We had a day that was just completely screwed up. And I think it was Sunday.
It was a day, and it just felt like shit was...
It was wrong.
Off the walls. Everything.
And everybody felt that way.
And everybody felt that way, yeah.
That happens.
Yep, it's toasty in the house looking...
Yeah,
out at the snow and ice. Ooh, yeah, that's the best way to do it, looking out.
But that's what I'm saying. Sitting inside with some type of fire or wood stove in front of you, maybe some candles and just like this warm light, and then looking out with the ice cold. And that to me is that's grounding. That's recognizing what the earth gives you. Yeah. That's one of the reasons I want to go to Wisconsin.
I can see that.
I want to be able to be in the house.
So if we get a place,
work and say I have to work from home today because I can't get out because there's 8 feet of snow, and then just sit there with a computer and work.
Sometimes it's nice to have a snow day that helps to slow down. I can see that, Aaron.
It's not for you, Drakey.
He got down. Oh, you don't like it?
He didn't like the smoke.
You needed to be cleansed.
Saged, yeah. I've got the black sage. If you get the regular one, we'll go around to the house today.
We should do a cleansing.
And then I'm ready to take the MT10 out to the beach.
Yeah, to the Cape Coral Beach.
I'm still afraid of it.
I'm going to go out there.
Yeah, that's a pretty one.
And I'd like that chili that guy sells, but baby, the GI symptoms.
Took 2 days to recover. Beans and that thing.
Oh my God.
I don't know where you got those from. Anyway.
Okay. They're organic.
So 2 topics. I don't know if Rook did, but I did finish the portents, the year for tarot.
Oh, that's cool. No, I didn't finish it, so I have to.
So I will be sharing.
Astral travel back and do mine.
I will be sharing my results. I wanted to do it this week, but I want to go through my notes and make sure it makes sense. And basically, what you do is starting December 26th. You pull a card a day for 12 days, and that's kind of like the next year's, thing, what's going to happen, how things are going to look for the next year in 2024. And what I've gathered is that 2023 was the year of change. 2024 is the year of unfreezing and moving.
I think it's just going to be like a steady year. To me,
I agree. It's going to be an action year.
It's going to be a normal year.
We're not going to see results.
Right.
And we're not going to have significant changes. What we're going to have in 2024, in my opinion, is action. We're doing the things. Like last year, we thought everything changed. Things moved. This year, we're going to now work on those things that moved and build their structures up and put them together and start. Last year was we bought it from IKEA. This year is we're putting it together.
Well, it's about fucking time. Like what has it been, like 3 years of just...
Yeah.
Like,
I think there's going to be, I read into some political upheaval. That's going to get crazier. The world's going to seem crazier, but it's not going to be crazier. So we are going to have to reset ourselves to our thinking of, this is where we are. This is what's going on. Don't get hyped up in the Trump versus Biden, Biden's 90, all this political stuff.
Know what you think, what you want, what you know, what you need. It's about what is it going to be? Us
and community, and we have got to figure out what our version of that is, and that's what I got.
And maybe not so many answers this year. Just living and being.
Yeah, I mean, I pulled a lot of action cards. I think I can't remember the first card, but I think it was the Devil first, which is the break free in a nutshell, and then the Emperor, which gave me a lot of stableness, a lot of organizational structure. So
I love it, little tree sap.
Yes,
I agree. Just
me too.
Ignore all the current shit unless it's something around you. I like that.
Yes. Little Tree Sap, for those of you who do not recognize what Little Tree Sap just said, that is exactly what I think we have to do for this year to make it make sense. You've got to get out of the current events. That doesn't mean that you ignore stepping in or providing support to exude the things you believe in, right? It doesn't mean don't be activist. The activist in paganism and in Left Hand Path and in all of us is really not about going to the parades, or not the parades. That's a terrible word that I just came up with that shouldn't have been there. The protests. It's about being your own protester and saying, you know what? I hear what you're saying about abortion, and I vehemently disagree with you, and this is why. But I understand that you have that to decide, and that's good for you. I'm glad you have that decision.
That's great.
But don't come at me, bro.
Yeah.
That's the what
like
we're
what's in
about.
your life, not a global. It's not a global or national landscape upheat. Things to be involved in. I like what Trecep said, in your local community. Just like live your freaking life and do stuff for the people around you.
I was this whole thing. This whole thing is last year with what happened with cups and stuff. It's the best thing that could have happened to me, because it was my fault that I was placing so much expectation upon what I could do for the group and the group could do for me, and I provided what I feel is a lot. And I got a lot out of it. It was very beneficial and great for what it was when it was, but when it fell apart, I blamed it for being what that was just it. My community is still the people that are engaged. Regs, Joy, Dragon Dancer.
Running
in the shadows, but not in that setting. That setting is not appropriate for me. So my community isn't about a group. My community is you guys. My community is my work community, the people that I interact with and talk with, Rook and a lot of the people. Regs, like I said, I never would have met her without cups, and I love talking with her if I can keep up. But that's community. It's not Democrat, Republican, Independent, Libertarian. I believe in guns. I don't believe in guns. You should have one. You shouldn't. Abortion, no abortion. Those aren't your communities.
And it's all stuff to separate people.
Yep, it's all stuff to separate people. So that fits right along in what I've been seeing and the thing. But yeah, the Devil.
It's about control, man.
It's about control.
The man trying to control, man.
Yeah, the Devil. I agree, Kelvin. Devil, very misunderstood. And yes, Maeve, I do think Devil's a very positive card. To me, it's almost the main mirror card in the deck. It's like, hey, look at yourself. You're blaming all this shit on the devil?
You dumb bitch.
Guess who the devil is?
Yeah.
You. So you need to figure out what you're doing and break that off and move on to something better, because you're the only person that can decide that. But anyway, that came up because we had the 12 days. I don't know what you call them. The portents, the 12 days of Christmas. Joy has a word for it that I like, but I can never remember. But when I was on Wild Hunt today, because I like to look at the news on Wild Hunts.
Yeah, I need to check that out.
They have a 12 days that they did for the year, and it's pretty similar to mine. Speak of run in the shadows, and he shall appear. We just talked about
Oh, hey! Hey, running. Running.
Augers, thank you.
Running. Augers!
So that's really the end result of that. That's where that goes from.
A king is never late. He arrives exactly when she should.
Yeah. But yeah, the devil card is in, actually, I don't know where at, but it's in my shadow work initially, and it is, I am and always have been an overachiever. I graduated with a 4.2 GPA in high school. I had magna cum laude, summa cum laude all through college. Straight A's everywhere I've ever been.
Bitch.
I excel at work, and it is because I spend way too much time, I heard you, defining myself by those things and then realizing that they're not what mattered. What mattered is what I do and how I act on a daily basis. So something didn't go well at work very recently. It was very distressing, and all I did is, you know what? It happened. I'm just going to continue on helping the other people and doing exactly who I am, and if that's not good enough, I'll go somewhere else.
Probably too much, but one thing I've learned the latter part of this year is to speak up and stand up.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I've got to dial it back a little bit and keep in mind, is it worth your time to do so? Because I went full out with a work situation and just said, basically without saying, cursing, don't fucking come for me.
I think that is spelled right, by the way.
Yeah.
And Runnin' will probably be at Kava later today at some point. If you
I
wanna
need
go.
some cards running.
We need cards. Yes.
Within the next week, if you can pull me some cards.
Not to completely go off subject, because I still want to hit back on one thing before we're done. But what you were just talking about, it is the reason why we need pride parades. And it just pops into my head that that's a part of it.
We'll have one in Cape Coral in March.
So
I'm going to
go. Pagan pride, gay pride, any kind of pride, black pride,
Women
whatever.
pride.
We male.
What is so, I like where this is going. What is
Shut up.
Tell me about we mouth.
Shut
I
up.
like that word.
I'm sorry, Mom.
What is we
Stop.
mouth?
I can't think now.
No, I like it.
The
Go.
reason is because, and this comes I call it the cognitive cunt consideration.
Oh, I like it. I love that word, cunt.
I do too. And the reason I call it that is because when you have and I'm saying this, you got to hear the whole piece out. You think about a strong woman, right? Strong feminine. And I use quotes because that's what the people that are going to say what I'm about to say. The strong woman, and oh, she's a bitch. Oh, she's a cunt. She's a Karen. She's a this. And that's very frustrating to me, because when you have been in a group that has been systematically oppressed, recognizing that and moving forward, there is a moment where the spring unloads. It happened with Stonewall. It happens with gay rights still. It happens with all of these things to me. And it's like that oppression, just slavery, black oppression, all of it. It springs, it pushes that spring down to the point where it just can't be compressed anymore. And then it breaks off, and that spring just goes haywire, right? So that's when you see anger. That's when you see the rioting and looting and frustration and the extreme overt sexuality of gay pride. I don't like it.
Yeah.
But I don't, because there's kids there, and I don't necessarily think kids should be involved in that. But
exactly,
it doesn't mean I'm mad about it, because I understand it. I know why it's happening. It's because that spring was loaded so hard and then let go. And so when you apply that to different groups, it's like everybody at some point fits into that group, even if they don't recognize it. And recognizing, like what you said, I know it's not the same thing. I'm not equating what happens with us or gay people or pagan or black. They're all completely different, and they're not comparable. But as a societal process, to me, it's that unloading of the spring that happens. And then how do people respond to it? Well, if we respond to a woman's march, a wee male march.
I want to go to a wee male march, actually.
But when people respond to it saying, look at a bunch of these bitches, right? Because that's what people say. Like, they're like, they're all bitches. They're all Karens. Like, no. People finally standing up for themselves, and you mad because they right. Right? So it's the same thing, similar idea, not the same thing, but it's an idea for work. You have done whatever your bosses have told you to do the best you can, and that compresses you because you're not being your true self. And then when you're like, you know what? Fuck all of you want to be my true self. Your spring unloads. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, hey, supervisor, you best back the motherfucker off. I'm going to slash your goddamn tires.
Don't come for me. You're wrong. Like,
it's not good,
right?
But it's understandable. And if you understand it, then you can kind of get to the next piece.
We had a meeting last week, and
I don't know if that made any sense, but it did to me.
A coworker of mine, they were rolling out a new policy, and we basically told them, you're wrong. You know, that's not going to fly. You're absolutely wrong. And it felt so good. I think I'm becoming too outspoken.
But you would still do it. Right? You still do what you
But I have to follow what they say. But I'm just saying you're wrong.
But you get out the energy by expressing. Yeah, it's the pendulum swinging from one extreme to the other. And the thing that's difficult about it for people in general, I think, is it's one thing to agree with it, and it's a whole other to understand it, right? Like, I'm going to use that same example. When I don't go to gay pride events usually, and I don't because it's so overtly sexual. I'm uncomfortable. That's my problem, right? I understand why, and I'm not going to negate somebody else's decision to do what they do. It's just weird for me, and I have to deal with that. Does not make it bad. So when people bash it, like, oh, I'm not going to it because they're just hypersexual assholes. Like, no, you used to be able to go to jail for being with a man. Like, It happened in Texas. They literally arrested somebody because they accidentally walked in on him having sex with his husband.
Well, now it's changed from that to you can't have an abortion or you go to jail.
Yeah, so it's like...
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't know how we got off on that subject. We're talking about augurs.
Augurs. So, yeah. Hey, Melvin.
How's it going?
Welcome. Hey, any updates on your book?
Yes.
I know it's January. We want to know because... Turn on this. Is the screen on? I'm going to show his other one.
We want to know because we're nosy, number one.
We're nosy and we want to buy it.
And we want to read it.
So we have...
This is book number 1.
Unexplained Possibilities. Mel S. in the house. Who last year released So Strange Times Volume 1. It was awesome. And he is... And I can say it because he said it. Going to release another book.
Not related.
Possibly unrelated. Possibly in this month.
So this is the So Strange Times. I have the Kindle version of it, which was great. This is the physical version, and we are...
I'm old school. I got to buy the hard copy. Even though I have no business buying any more books.
Oh, yeah, we do. Like, we have 5 motorcycles. We can have books.
So looking at the cover art... Yes, sir. And can you remind me? I don't know if you want to release or know the title yet.
This?
But
I'm gonna cut you off.
Well, you're good at that. I'm just kidding. You're actually not good at that.
I learned it from you.
I'm the one that cuts off.
Melvin, you have absolute full ability to share anything you want to share, please. Whether it's links or whatever the case may be, if you would like to. Whatever you want to share is good to us. So yeah, we really enjoyed the book. Both of us talked about it afterwards. Like, you really do keep going through it until you get to the end. I think I read it in 2 days just because we just sat on the couch and read. Like, the only thing we turned in on the TV that day, those 2 days. So it was very exciting. But yes. I was just thinking about that too.
This is available on Amazon and so far still on schedule to come out this month. Whoop whoop!
The Forgotten Tales Dragon's Tear.
That's all you're getting. Yoop yoop.
All right.
Well, I'm going to be on the lookout for an alert because last time I like how you did it and went live to announce it. So we'll be on the lookout for that.
Yes.
Sweet.
I know our times are off. I turned all your notifications on and everything, and I still can't get to some of them because I just don't pay attention to YouTube half the time. But I am definitely going to be looking for that live. I did catch up on all the videos though. Like I always catch up. Just not live sometimes. But if you want, in the meantime, you are more than welcome to share anything that you want in our Discord or in the Occultist Discord with Adius Dade. There's a section there for self-promotion. Please, please, please feel free to share anything. As soon as I see it, I'll share it. But I just may not get it timely. Adius Dade. But
Sorry.
Really? A problem? Am I not doing what you need up there?
Oh. Yeah. Just tell me, silence, s'il vous plaît, maintenant.
Silence, s'il vous plaît, maintenant.
Oh, very good.
Just kidding.
So will we meet again before the next full moon? I gotta look. I think maybe.
Not necessarily. Our next show is on the 28th.
Hold on. So our next podcast
No, it is
20
next week because we skipped a week. We skipped last week when we should have done. So yes, we will be on next week.
Ooh,
on
so the
21st.
full moon is next Thursday. Will you be?
I'll be coming home that night at 9:30.
So you go out again next week, the 22nd?
I go out on the 23rd. It's a Tuesday through Thursday that week.
Damn. Okay, we got to plan what we're doing for the full moon.
Yeah. Ooh. There's a ghost walk with the Crescent State Park.
Hey, Calvin, have a great
You hear me?
rest of the day. Thanks for stopping in.
Thank you for stopping in. Yes. There's a Crescent State Park ghost walk.
When?
Coming up very soon, but there's going to be somebody there that I don't like. A single person. You'll know. There's only one person I don't like right now in our community.
Really? Okay.
Shares the name of my sister. But I eavesdropped, so that's how I found out about it.
Oh.
So we should go. Anyway, so the other thing I wanted to talk about today, this is the last topic, just to kind of hit on it, is this article that I read in the Wild Hunt called Not a Witch. And in a nutshell, I kind of went through this article and, I felt good about it. Like I enjoyed it. It's like, hey, I don't know what I am. Everybody does this, that, and the other. But then at one point, this gentleman who's wrote, I'm not a witch. I wanted to be something where they took me seriously. Hold up, motherfucker. You literally just implied that people who consider themselves witches aren't taken seriously. Yet, the bio of this person says, a magical jack of all trades. So is it okay to be whatever you want to be? Absolutely. But is it okay to say something like, yeah, I want to be taken seriously, so I'm not going to be called a witch? That frustrated me. I don't think that's what this person meant. But comments kind of, felt the same way. So I would like to see if there's a follow-up to that. But that's what brought up the conversation about gatekeeping. And since we've talked about gatekeeping so freaking much, I wanted to talk about the other end of gatekeeping.
Yep.
And that is so we read a lot, watch a lot of YouTubes, and learn a lot that way. When we do learn something new and we have new information, how important is it to follow the formula? So if I'm reading the Runar Mall, and in the Runar Mall it says, to properly work with Odin, you should XYZ, ABC, EFG, right? And if I don't follow that, and I do something different, am I just making things the way I want them to be? Is there value in doing it the way that he says it? Or is it all about being able to manipulate and make things work for yourself while also trying to stay true to the original intent?
I think the very definition of a witch, pagan, etc., alternative, earth-based, whatever, is taking it out and manipulating energy or doing it your own way.
Yep. I think the definition to me of a witch requires magic.
I think it does. Absolutely.
I do not think for other people that consider themselves witch that maybe do different things that maybe they feel it's not magic, that's fine. I think it's good. But I think if I apply my definition, what they're doing is magic. That's the difference. And it's okay. Like if they're like, I'm not magic, I'm not a witch. That's just not what I consider myself. Okay. But if you go in and say, but I only do that because I want to be taken seriously, and witches aren't taken seriously. I have a problem with that.
Yeah. And that's a good point, Dragon. Call their magic by a different name and won't label themselves a witch because they don't do magic. And I think
1000%.
I think magic is our own strengths and abilities, like cunning. Like I love cunning. Like you can, like if you are around an asshole and you know, especially in Southwest Florida sometimes, or Texas where I'm from, and you've got this person that's really strong and just hateful or whatever, and you sit there and just like let them think that like you're agreeing with them without saying it, and then flip it on them real quick, pull the rug out and fuck them up like mentally. I think that's a form of magic, right?
Yeah. You mean you use magic every time in cunning magic when you try to act like you don't understand something when you do.
I do.
And I use cunning when I know that that's the outcome, and he doesn't get that either.
Yep.
Don't look. It's just Finn. Don't growl.
But just come here, Finn. Come here, buddy.
And I'm like, so I know exactly what you mean, Dragon. I think that's kind of the crux of the thing. If those people like, I'm not a witch, I don't do magic, and they call it something else, I think that's okay. I think they should. I think they should be able to do that, and I think it's good that they call it what they call it, and that we allow them to do that. Say, hey, I see what you're doing. I call that magic, but you don't. That's okay. It's when you say like that other comment that person did. That's what kind of pissed me off. I think every human being on the planet uses magic and doesn't recognize it because they don't understand it. Literally, when people see magic, they think it is a supernatural force. This same person was kind of like, one of their comments that I was like, I can get behind this is, well, I don't know what, I'm not using kyanite to make things stronger and more powerful because, I don't know what kyanite does. I just do a practice that makes it more powerful. And I think that is okay. But if I have a judgment that somebody who recognizes that kyanite might have some properties that could make something more powerful, if you assume that they're stupid or dumb, that makes me angry. I use stones a lot. But I also feel that every atom or mineral that is in sulfur, for example, well, guess what? It's in me. Mm-hmm. There is sulfur in my body. All of us, we have sulfur. It is a trace mineral that our bodies need to complete certain reactions.
Oh, I got an oil Runnins balls. That just reminded me.
Okay. Please do. We have plenty of coconut oil. You can just dip them in. Right? It's the same thing with Catholic work too, Dragon Dancer. It's like, witchcraft is terrible. And they're like, okay,
they do more ritual than anybody.
Putting on my dress and lighting the candle and eating in Eucharist and like, okay, that's ritual. That's witchcraft. Sorry.
I mean,
but
here it is. Sit down, stand up, sit down. That's more ritual than any witch I could ever know.
Gracia.
Oh my gosh. You're a sweet boy.
My dear head boy's nose is starting to turn a little pink.
It's turning pink, Baba.
He's becoming a man.
He's a man.
But seriously, like that's the whole crux of gatekeeping to me is I am requiring you to follow rules that support or represent the rules that I tried to get away from by going into paganism or whatever the case may be. I do find a lot of value in tradition.
Yeah.
So I think like, for example, Norse tradition, right? And I'm going to speak out of turn because it's not my specialty. But when you are reading and you are applying Norse tradition, the mythology of the Norse pantheon, and doing something in a way of understanding like Loki, for example. Everybody knows Loki's the trickster. But Loki is also the one that straddles both lines.
Straddle.
Oh, yeah. He straddled both lines and had an 8-legged horse. So he's a creator and an incubator. So I'm not just trickster.
Ooh. Why is it saying engage with your audience? I have been.
Oh, because I had the thing lit up here. I had it highlighted. But the idea behind the mythology and the stories of something is what gives us the tradition in order to do something that's repetitively gathered energy in the past, and it will continue to do so in the future and with current activity. But in addition, it gives us the ability to manipulate it into what works for us. And I think there's that balance of that tradition. So when I think of somebody gatekeeping, I do get frustrated. I say, well, you have to do it this way. You're not a real blah. That's the phrase that gets me is you're not a real or to be a real
What am I, Baptist?
Yeah. Look at them. Just
He's just chilling. You're just a cute buddy.
I love him. This is my Bubba. But we are constantly talking about how much we hate gatekeeping, but we also need to consider the fact that the individuals that are doing a lot of the gatekeeping, to me, seem to be, what I've seen, fit into two categories. One category is I really don't know what I'm talking about, and I learned this one thing, and I feel good about that one thing, so I'm going to push that on everybody because that's what made me feel like I did my one thing. That's really gatekeeping. The second kind of gatekeeper is I have spent my entire life devoted to this process, and I've worked really hard, and it works so well when you do it, and I've perfected it. I want to share it with you, and I want you to do it this way because that's what worked for me. And if you don't do it this way, it's wrong. Yeah. Both of those sides to me are bad.
Yeah.
But if you, again, try to work on understanding.
Hey, Tabby.
Hey, Tabby. If you try to work on the understanding portion of that, right, it's a little bit easier to see. It's like, well, you know what? If I spent 20 years trying to figure this out, then I might gatekeep my practice. And you know who I learned this from was Damien Ball.
Oh, yeah.
Because one of the comments he makes is, I am not telling you what you have to do or believe in. I'm telling you what me and my group that I found to believe in. And to be in my group, you have to believe that. But it doesn't make you wrong if you don't. Right? It's just, you're not going to be in my group. That's it. And so I don't consider what he does as gatekeeping because he's recognizing that it is specific to his location, situation, community that he wants, right? He's developed that. It's his. And he is very sick. Dude, read my stuff. Use it. Make your life great. But you're not getting into our group unless you believe like we do, because that's the whole purpose. And that is one of the few people that I think has actually been honest and transparent about that process. And to me, that completely takes out the gatekeeping portion of it. And he recognizing that, like, it's not going to work for everybody, like you say, Dragon Dancer, and that's important. He's like, it's not going to work for everybody, but that doesn't mean you're wrong. You're just not going to be in our group. And I think that is respectable. On the other end of it is, you know, I learned this one thing and you have to do it this way and it's the only way. No, that's not okay. Because we're going to be able to work through processes and figure things out and go through X, Y, and Z steps and make some adjustments because, you know, what traditionally has worked may not work today, but there is power to me in repetition of something that's been done before. As close to the original as it is. Mm-hmm. I get that from Anton LaVey. Some of the things that Anton LaVey did with, and what I'm jealous of that he has done that I haven't got to yet is full reckless abandon of norms. Mm-hmm. And the realization that it's just whatever. It literally, he was like, all right, we're going to all get together and there's going to be a naked altar and there might be somebody masturbating or peeing in the corner.
And a naked woman just sitting there.
Nobody gives a shit.
Titties out.
We're here to express every single part of our human and animalistic urges. And that's what they did.
And they did it.
And I thought that was pretty cool. But that was the other end of gatekeeping for me is that, you know, even when we identify gatekeeping, we need to be understanding of why some people might do that. Because it's so prevalent and so easy to point out. All I think we need to do to combat it is say, I'm really glad that works for you. And I think it's important that you have some type of tradition and repetition in your magic. But I need to change this for it or it's not going to work for me. And that is
sounds like some parties Dragon's been to.
I'm telling you. Sounds like some parties I need to go to.
Naked after. Oh, naked altar. Yeah.
Seriously. Because just like with there's certain situations that when you put yourself in them that you're uncomfortable with, that you learn something about yourself, even if you don't agree or want to do that thing again. Like, I don't want to be a nudist. Not in my I bet you if I ever went to a nudist colony, even for a day, I would learn something about myself and probably be a lot more comfortable with my body and who I am.
Yeah, probably.
So by putting yourself in a situation you're not comfortable with, that you don't like, that you would never do, you learn about who you are. And I think that's a little bit about how that process works. You know? Hi, Ziggy. Yeah, we weren't going to have one.
Ah, Ziggy! Woo woo! The queen is in the house.
We weren't going to do it, but we missed last week. So we're like, yeah, we need to do it. So we're going to do it next week too. We're off our time frames. We get back to the first and third always.
Yeah.
So.
And we will be calling corners. Please.
Yes. We're not doing tarot today, just for the record, because at 12:30 we've got to move on to some other things.
Yeah, we got some stuff to do today.
But my Bobby. Look at that cuteness. Oh my God, he's so cute. Yes. Very happy.
Are you having like winter weather, Ziggy? Like snow and shit?
She's in the same state as
Oh yeah.
the rest of them.
But it may not affect her part, right? Does the whole state get covered in snow?
It's Wisconsin. Yeah.
So we got to plan for the full moon. Like let's look at think about what we're gonna do for the 25th.
We do need to plan for the full moon.
Check out the ghost walk when it is and get ready.
Yeah, and running. I don't want to be a nudist, but I want to go and just not be concerned about anything.
You can be a nudist here. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not. That's not an uncomfortable situation at the house, though. I run around here naked all the time.
We'll do it more.
I will not do it in -3 degrees, though.
Wow. We got a bunch of snow. Ooh.
Look at Finn. He's so funny.
He is.
He's got his head back.
You do have to be concerned with cooking, though. Woo! Some places I wouldn't want hot oil to get to.
But seriously, like
the 20s? Dang.
We need to check on your mom.
Yeah, I do need to check on my mom. We got -4.
She's in Texarkana.
With
Yeah, I mean it's
to my own house. Yep.
The high today is 63, but yeah, me too. Little Tree Sap. They ain't never gonna I don't ever want to do it, but I'm thinking of that as an example of putting myself in situations I'm not comfortable with, and I'm doing that a lot more lately, just in general, to learn about myself and learn where my limits are, and yeah. In the Damien Ball book, they talk about demonic chores. It's a really good section of the book. So I will never do the polar bear plunge. That's just no.
I did one year. Damn. Yeah, once is enough.
You did, Brad?
I did.
Why?
I mean, it was like a fundraiser for Canon. I did.
I'll give you some money.
It was not fun. I mean,
he is living his best life.
How odd all my outside nudity might be. Well, it's natural. Like, it's how we fucking started. I did the polar in Vermont. Yeah.
No.
Whoop, whoop. Polar bear plunge is in the house.
No.
They don't even do that in Florida, I don't think. Do they? I haven't heard of it.
It's not polar.
True.
So when I was in Virginia at about 19 years old, no, hell no. I was like 16 because I was skipping school that day. I had a 4.2. I got away with everything.
Well, I skipped school most days, and I did not have a 4.2. Let me just say
4.268.
I barely graduated high school for attendance.
So we skipped and went to Virginia Beach in January, and I got in the water, and like a week later is when I had pneumonia, and that's how I got knew I was allergic to penicillin. I came into my grandmother's house because I was out at the time. I had moved out because I came out, and then I wasn't allowed to live in the house. So I went to the house in Hickory, and I just walked in. I sat down on the floor and said, "Call 911."
Oh, jeez.
And I couldn't breathe. I passed out, and then I woke up in urgent care. They gave me the shot of penicillin, and within 18 minutes, I had passed out again. Because then,
That's scary.
I don't know if y'all know this, but you can get hives on your penis if you have one.
Oh, God. Don't want hives on the penis.
It was a pretty design though. Like I had perfect hives.
No, thank you.
And they had like they were like octagon shaped entire body. Face, eyes, scalp, in my mouth, everywhere.
I
Whole
love
body.
tattoos, but I ain't gonna get one on my penis.
It was everywhere.
I mean, I don't think.
It was everywhere. It was terrible. Yes.
So before next week, let's plan out our full moon on the 25th. What we're gonna do.
Yep.
Check into the ghost walk. Anything else? I'm just saying it's like
It's 12:10, so we gotta get
12:10.
rolling. Yeah. So that's it.
Yeah, let's talk about our favorite part when you're ready.
I will.
I'm just picking up on your energy. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
I haven't put anything down, so whatever you're picking up is not mine.
Hey, Bubs.
So
I love you.
we like I said, we do have to kind of end on time today. We don't have time for tarot, unfortunately. We have a few things we have to do.
We will next Sunday though.
And then we will be heading to Cava though. So anybody who's local,
Kava bar.
if you're interested in going, just shoot me a text or let me know,
Botanical
and we will let
Brewing.
you know when we get there. It's gonna be a shorter time though, just like hour or two.
Yeah.
Because
I want to go to the beach,
gotta fly out early tomorrow, but
even for 10 minutes.
excuse me. So there's that. I feel like I talked way too much today.
I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with talking a lot.
I guess it's technically a podcast. So
It is
Supposed
a
to talk.
podcast, right?
yeah.
So next week, will it be before? Yeah, it'll be before the full moon. So I want to hear about what you all are doing for the full moon. Next Sunday will be the 21st.
Yeah, so we will definitely have a show next week. We'll be back on our regular scheduled show. We may try to add a couple in there. For those of you that have joined a couple of my gaming streams, I did beat the Callisto Protocol, and I'm going back through it now in a harder setting. Might stream that a little bit later tonight, because that's fun.
And if anybody wants to plan a Dead by Daylight mini marathon, I'm always down. DVD.
Yes, we'll always play DVD if anyone wants to play.
You wanna go to the beach?
And yes, we're going to the beach probably.
A little bit chilly.
Tabby,
Hey, Tabby.
It is chilly, but I think Rook is right. We need to get our toes in the sand for a
I
minute.
got to get my feet in the ground.
There is the cutest little tiny strip of beach down here in Cape Coral that we found. It's literally behind our Kava place, actually. So, yeah, we're going to probably do that at some point. So, my guess is Kava will be closer to 3 or 4 for an hour or two. Run in. Hopefully you're able to come. We'd like to see you. Maybe even a little bit earlier than that. It might not be that late, but anyway, we do have to hop off here to get these other things done. They are time sensitive. Ziggy, we will message you when we get back for some DVD probably. And anybody else who wants to.
Just hypnotize me.
So let's move into our closing and see if Rook can read it.
I can read. Thank you all for hanging out with us on this Sunday. I hope you had a great week and hope you have a great week to come. Please check out all of these awesome creators, witches, and wonderfuls. Paranormal Witch on YouTube and Lady Rose 819 on Instagram. She puts out a lot of blogs on paranormal and witchy happenings, and they're very, very awesome. Unexplained Possibilities, who was in the house on YouTube, and Unexplained Possibilities on Instagram.
And who has
a
a book already out called
So Strange Times Volume 1. Get it on Amazon.
If you haven't read it, you need to.
If you haven't read it, you need to.
And has another book coming out this
in
month
January
called
Dragon Tear.
Yeah, I forgot the first part too.
Let's go back.
But yes,
be on the
Dragon
look.
Tear.
The Dragon Tear, and you have got to get him. Be on the lookout. He is really cool and goes live to announce them. So keep him subscribe or like on Instagram so you can get those updates, and on YouTube for him. Ziggy Dreadful on Twitch. If you stop in when she's playing a game, she's so cool. She might ask you to join in and have fun. Addie Estate on YouTube and most social media, who with this guy next to me, Mystic Salon. does a podcast, Apocrypha, on Friday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And
I don't remember the time, but does the Sunday Mass
Coffee with Satan
on
Black
Sundays.
Mass,
So it's
yes.
not long after this if it hasn't already started. The times
I think it's 1 p.m. Eastern Time, but
he's a different time zone, so I
just
always get
check
it
him out.
backwards. But check that out. I watched the first couple of episodes; are pretty good.
yeah, and coming
like that.
soon, Mystic Manny and Dragon Dancer.
Not together.
Not together. And we are Two Pondering Pagans on YouTube and Facebook. Thank you all so much for hanging out today on your Sunday. Hope you have a great magical week. And we will see you next Sunday.
See you next Sunday.
Bye.
Bye.